Today, I'm here to talk about something that you might have faced before, you might have been facing right now, that's called imposter syndrome. And I have some hacks, like I'm not a specialist on this subject, but I have some hacks about how you can fix it. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Daniel. I have 19 years of experience as a software developer. And since I have started developing software, I have done a lot of code. I have worked a lot of clients with a lot of projects in as many languages as you can imagine. I even worked on a language that's called idoc script that I believe no one here know what's about. And idoc script has nothing to do with iOS development. But here I have something to tell you. I need to confess something. I am imposter. Yeah. But before you guys start judging me, that I know they are doing this right now, let me explain a little bit more how this imposter syndrome works. So first, let's go to the definition. If I ask you, what's an imposter? Probably your answer is going to be something like, it's someone that lies, someone that pretends to be someone else in order to deceive other people. And that's exactly the feeling that you including me, guys that have this imposter syndrome, feel. Like you feel that you are pretending that you are someone else. You don't feel that you belong the way you are. You feel alone, like actually you put yourselves in a lone place because you are afraid that other people realize our secret, that you're not as good as you pretend to be. And you have a low self-esteem and you start procrastinating a lot. When I first started working on this company, A Studio, I was the first Brazilian here. My English was not good enough. It was even worse, believe me. I was working with the most smartest people that I have ever met. Like there was one guy from Harvard, one guy from Yale. I worked with one other guy that was one of the most skilled developer that I have ever met. And I just took 1 year course here in Brazil. So you can imagine what kind of pressure I have on my mind. I was afraid to be fired every single day. One day, they're gonna find out that I was a fraud. That's the feeling that I have every single day. But guess what? I never got fired. And here I am, 9 years later, and the company now has about, I guess, more than 50 employees just in Brazil, just the developers. And now that you know the definition, let's go a little bit about the history of imposter syndrome. This kind of problem is pretty old, actually, but it was just first defined when uh, 43 years ago, like, yeah, 3 years ago. It was first presented by these two psychologists, Pauline and Suzanne, when they interviewed a lot of women, 150 women, and those women that were interviewed, they have great results, great achievements. They have a very nice position on their roles. But it's funny because they just think that they were there because of some lucky or because someone was exaggerating their achievements. And even though the study was just conducted by interviewing women, it also affects men. But you are not alone on this one. For the ones that like statistics, this problem affects about 62% of all workers. Probably your friend, your colleague has this one. Probably your boss is facing this problem right now. But you know what? They usually don't share about this feeling because they are afraid of it. Actually, do you know who doesn't have this feeling? Cats don't have this feeling because cats think that they are the most perfect cat that a cat could be. I guess just cats don't have this kind of feeling. And cats also believe in that everyone should follow them. And I put here on this next slide some quotes that you can see some people, important people, and people that you believe that are very smart that have this kind of feeling. And if you don't know who this guy Mike is, he is the co-founder of Atlassian. That's the company that owns Bitbucket and also Trello. And he has this feeling. Also, there is a good lecture or talk about him on TED Talk that you can find out before, where he explained all the process in his life when he has this kind of feeling. It's nice to know that we're not alone. So now you know that we're not alone. You know a simple definition, a little bit of the history. Let's learn more about how we can identify this kind of problem. So the first problem is the excess of self-criticism. Like as you feeling that you are gonna be questioned about achievements every time, we start to try to do everything so perfect that at the end of the day you're gonna be very tired, very stressed, and very frustrated as well, because you want to do everything very perfect, like moi. And because of that, you start also to procrastinate in tasks. Because you want to do everything perfect, you start procrastinating because you know the energy that you're going to spend on this task. There is a good example of mine on this procrastination thing. The company where I'm working right now, AE Studio, you have a retreat every year, and also the members usually give a talk about this something, anything that you can give a talk about, you can just give a talk. So I told my boss like 5 years ago, I want to give a talk about procrastination. 5 years ago. And he said, okay. And I didn't feel that I was never prepared for this talk. I never did this talk because I feel that I was not good enough. Nowadays, we make a joke about that, but just an example of how you procrastinate things when you have this kind of feeling. Another thing that you can identify this kind of symptom is like you start to constant comparison with others. That's not a good idea. That's not healthy at all, because when you are comparing with each others, with other person, you don't know what this person have been through to know what they do, like to know what they know. So instead of just comparing, let's say a colleague or a coworker do a very good job, like he just created a pull request that's awesome, and you start reading his code and you think, oh my god, he's so awesome, I am terrible. Instead of having this feeling, just think, what can I learn from this? And now I'm gonna give you some tips how we can overcome it. So the first thing you need to do is focus on the facts. Like the facts matter more than feelings. For example, when I started the company, I was very worried. Sorry. I was very worried because I think that I wasn't good enough. But my boss was happy. The clients was very happy. I would just rely on my feelings. Like focus on the facts. If everyone is happy, maybe the problem is your feelings. Do you know what I mean? Also, a good thing to do is share your feelings. Like, you know, they're not alone in this one. Like almost everyone, but cats have this kind of problem. So share your feelings with your friends. Try to know how they feel about that. Also look for a mentor. On AE Studio, we have like these one-on-one meetings every week where you give the opportunity to the people to talk about their feelings, to talk about how they are feeling about the project, to talk about what they should do, what they think that they should do, like maybe I want to work on another project. And that is good because you are very you very you are very concerned about people being happy, because great happy developers build happy software, no, better software. And another thing, another tip that I can give you guys is like make a list like of or accomplishments, that the things that I have done. But that's another subject. I just jumped it. Sorry. Another thing that I want to talk is about change your thoughts. So as I have said before, instead of thinking, "Oh, this guy is so awesome, I'm not never gonna be in there," just think, what can I learn from him? Or instead of thinking like, I just build a shit code that's come back from QA, just think, what can I do better next time? By doing that, you're going to start to rewire your brains to be more supportive, because our brains could help us or could destroy us. So we can start this kind of exercise. And the next one is share your achievements. Let's say you did something that you are proud of. Let's celebrate. Just put on Slack, hey, let's check what I did. Why not? Talk to your mom, talk to your wife, your husband, wherever, but celebrate it. It's achievement that you did. And also, now it's just time for the list. Make a list of our achievements that we're proud of. And you start to feeling like you are an imposter. Just read the list again for yourself. You're gonna see that you are not as bad as you think you are. And now I have some tools that could help you to feel a little bit less with the imposter syndrome, actually. Some tools that can help you. For example, you have this new stack framework. That's a very good framework. That's feature driven. So at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about a lot of things that you usually have to do. You just focus on the feature. And at the end of the day, you're going to see that you have built a lot. You have built a good app with less code. By the way, this framework was built for one of the developers on IE. Another thing that you can use is Zenaholic. That's one app that was built on one of the hackathons that we have on the company. That's using I need to read this one. Cognitive therapy techniques and machine learning. So the main of this is to make you stopping your negative feelings about yourself. It's a pretty awesome tool that's based on an amazing book, and like you're gonna start learning more about yourself, and at the end you're gonna see that feeling that you're having is not a real feeling. Like you are kind of imposter here. That's a good tool. There is also Pomodoro. That's gonna help you to focus a lot. I think that everyone knows here what Pomodoro is. And for sure, there is extension for any place that you want. Google Chrome, Visual Studio, or whatever. And one that I like particularly is Grammarly, because I'm very afraid to make mistakes in English because I'm not a native. But Grammarly gives my energy, just take away my energy, because I can just rely on Grammarly. That's a good tool that you can use too when you are writing or doing some chatting or writing an email or whatever. And for sure, there are more tools over there, and that's why I would like you to ask you to share your feelings with your colleagues so they can share more tools with you, and you can learn and you can share what you are doing with them. So, just to summarize here, We talk about the definition, we talk about the history, how to identify it, how to overcome it, some tips, and some tools that you can use to help you. I never wrote a book, but I want to do this, so that's why I put this slide here. And that's why I have it today. I hope that this talk helped you a little bit, and just don't think that you are alone on this feeling. There are a lot of people, a lot of developers, a lot of great, smart person that are in the same place that you are, and just talk with someone. And if you want to join a company that are really focused and are really care about the employees, just join us. You're gonna feel like you are a very great developer, and you try to remove this imposter syndrome for you. That's all, guys.